We all know that feeling. 1 second, you're on top of the world. In the next...
Whoa, no weapons! Why? I thought this was extreme dodgeball. We would have won if you guys didn't use weapons. Fine. Saturday, rematch, but this time with dodgeball weapons.
Now there's no telling what sort of weapons Red Dude and his guys are gonna show up with, but lucky for me, I've got a crazy idea. Now, I can't throw very fast, and my accuracy, also not wonderful. So if I'm gonna stand a chance out there, I'm gonna need this.
It's a bazooka type thing that shoots dodgeballs with crazy speed and accuracy, making it virtually undodgeable. But in order to build it, I'm gonna need tubes big enough to fit a dodgeball.
And I just so happen to have a giant tube with my name written all over it.
Okay, now this is literally the perfect size, but I think I might have a massive problem on my hands.
Now, I've made a few different kinds of PVC cannons in the past, but they've all had one thing in common.
They've all been about this big around, and this one is gonna be this big around, and I don't know if that's gonna work.
Because the way a PVC cannon works is you have a combustion chamber and you have a barrel. An explosion happens in the chamber, forcing pressure through the barrel, causing whatever's in the barrel to fly out.
Now obviously, the smaller the barrel, the bigger the pressure. But this bazooka can't have a smaller barrel because it needs to hold a dodgeball.
So I might not be able to create enough pressure to shoot a dodgeball out at the speed that I need it to. But there's only one thing I can do, and that's build it and find out. But man, I really hope the size of this tank isn't gonna be a problem and that I'm not accidentally foreshadowing some horrible thing I'm gonna have to deal with later on. Because, you see, failure is just not an option here. I have to make this dodgeball bazooka work. I need to win this dodgeball game.
What's this? Hey! Ooh, a comic book? Hey, this ain't bad. Come on, give it back. It's not ready. Well, hold up now. Let's make this interesting. If you win the rematch, I'll give it back. But if I win, I'm gonna leak your comic book to the whole internet. You got 3 days.
So you see my dilemma here?
I've been working on this Sox's comic book for months, and it is nowhere near ready.
I've literally poured my heart and soul into this comic book every day, and there is still so much work to be done. So a copy of it in Red Dude's hands is just bad news. If he wins the rematch, he's gonna ruin everything. So this bazooka needs to be perfect.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is installing the igniter, which is this little thing. You push a little button, and it makes a little spark.
So I connected those wires to screws that go inside the chamber.
Because in order for this to work, we need an explosion to happen in here. Because once it's all sealed up, we put something flammable inside, and that spark is gonna cause that explosion.
So this tank needs to be able to hold a ton of pressure. So I really did my best here to make sure that every fitting was perfectly cleaned and perfectly glued, because I don't want this thing falling apart on me. And I accidentally kind of set it on fire, so yeah. Anyway.
While I wait for this glue to set, I'm gonna start working on the barrel. Okay, so we've got our combustion chamber and we've got our barrel. Now I'm gonna connect them using a 4-inch piece of PVC pipe. But in order to do that, I'm gonna need another fitting just like this one. The only problem is, I don't have another fitting like this. So I'm gonna put in an order for another fitting. We're also gonna put in an order for a really big fitting to put at the end of the barrel so it'll flare out and look really cool. All right, and while I wait for those to arrive, I'm gonna start working on this problem right here. You see this right here? Not for pressure. Now we want a lot of pressure in this thing. So this thing's gotta be able to handle it or we're gonna have a big problem. Big problem meaning this thing is gonna blow up in my face.
And we don't want that to happen.
So to do this right, we're gonna need some of this. This is some good old Schedule 40, nice thick PVC pipe. This will do the job.
Now that I had some nice thick PVC pipe that would do the job, it was time to do the job.
Okay, this thing is coming out pretty sick, but before we go any further, we gotta make sure this works. But since I still don't have my fittings and a dodgeball can't fit in here, I'm gonna have to use something else. So I got this ball of paper towels and tape.
Whoa! Do you see that? Look at that! That's crazy! Okay, I shot that from here and it went all the way over there. That's awesome.
Okay, so I was really nervous that a big tank was gonna cause less pressure, but that was by far the most power I've ever gotten out of one of these things.
But that was just a paper towel ball going through the 4-inch barrel.
We still gotta put the big long barrel on this thing, and the dodgeball is a lot bigger and heavier than this, so not out of the woods yet.
And if I'm gonna win this dodgeball game and stop my comic from being leaked, I got a long way to go still.
What's up?
Hey Jake, it's Purple Dude. Sox just called a team meeting.
You FaceTime me for that?
Yeah, I figured it was the fastest way to get a hold of you.
Alright guys, we need a game plan, alright? Jake, I know you're working on a bazooka, that's great. I've got my sword and boxing glove guy. Maybe just work on that grip. I can go beast mode. I was thinking maybe not, because it makes you a bigger target. But I can't throw unless I go beast mode. Don't worry about it, dude. I can just build you a slingshot or something. All right then, it's settled.
So the delivery came and things were looking really good. Well, except for one thing. Frank's PVC store forgot my second fitting, and I need that second fitting to build my dodgeball bazooka.
Frank's PVC store, this is Frank. How can I help you?
Oh, this is Frank?
No, I'm not the Frank. I'm just Frank from customer service. What seems to be the problem?
Oh, okay. Well, I ordered 2 fittings and only one of them came. And to be frank, I'm kind of in a rush.
You're Frank too?
No, this is Jake.
Okay, Jake. Your second fitting was delayed and it'll be there soon.
Okay, well, I can't attach the barrel to the cannon until I have that other fitting. But what I can do is finish up the barrel.
Now this part of the build isn't really going to help the functionality of the dodgeball bazooka, but it is going to make it look really cool. So I'm definitely doing it. See? See how cool?
Alright, well, there's not too much I can do here until I have that other fitting. So for now, I'm gonna work on Purple Dude's slingshot. So what I wanna do for that is put a handle on a tube and an elastic band on the tube so I can pull back the band and shoot the ball through the tube. Now, unfortunately, this leftover tube is not long enough to do what I wanna do here.
Well, lucky for Purple Dude, I've got another tube with his name written all over.
Who's doing this?
So building Purple Dude's slingshot was pretty easy. All I had to do was cut a notch in the tube, put a handle on there, put something stretchy on there, make sure it's nice and secure, and then give it a shot.
Okay, now that Purple Dude's dodgeball slingshot is done, we gotta get back to working on
Jake, can I talk to you for a sec?
What do you mean you're quitting the team? We need you. Do you want to save your comic book or not? I can't even pick up a ball, man. I just hold you back. Well, who's gonna be our 4th guy? Hey, delivery guy, would you want to join my dodgeball team?
I'm afraid not. I swore I would never throw another dodgeball again.
Dude, come on, you got a crazy throwing arm and I could really use the help. Okay, I'm in.
With delivery guy on board, my team was looking stacked, but unfortunately my dodgeball bazooka was not looking very good at all. So I gave it a really cool paint job.
Okay, this thing looks insane, but it is super heavy and it is really hard to hold. So I gotta figure out a good handle situation for this thing.
As I sat there deeply pondering what I was going to do about this situation, I started to look around the garage and realized it was a total mess. So I picked up my leaf blower to clean up, only to remember that my leaf blower doesn't have a motor because I used it to build a jetpack. But then I realized that this empty leaf blower case would make the perfect handle. So I quickly took it apart and modified it perfectly to fit around the bazooka, and of course I gave it a sweet paint job so it would look really, really cool.
All right, this is so much better, so much easier to carry, and I mean, it's still heavy, but what are you gonna do? Jake, Sox just threw a wrench at me and said that if I could dodge this, I could dodge a dodgeball. I finished your dodgeball slingshot. How about you play with that? Oh, okay. All right, let's try this thing out.
Oh my, what? No way. What have I done? What have I done? This thing is crazy.
Wait. Okay, so I thought this thing was gonna be sweet until I realized that every time I want to shoot this thing off, I have to unscrew the top, spray in the boom juice, screw the top back on, put a ball in, and then I can shoot it. Now, in the heat of a dodgeball game, that's gonna take way too long, and I'm gonna lose for sure. So I thought this bazooka was ready, but it's not even close. And at this point, I just felt like giving up. Like, what's the point? Red Dude's gonna win, he's gonna leak my unfinished comic book, and it's gonna be a disaster. Now, I was just about to call it quits when, by some miracle, it hit me.
I'll use a tube that goes from the boom juice to the tank.
That way, I never have to unscrew the back again.
Yeehaw, brethren! It appears his idea has manifested into a small sun above his head.
It's like he hath harnessed the power of light into a tiny bulb.
A light bulb? That'll never replace the torch.
Torches? Wait. All right, forget the boom juice. We're using a torch.
Okay, now don't try this at home, even though I saw a bunch of other people on the internet try it at home.
But I've never seen anyone use it to build something like this.
So this'll be a world's first, but I don't even know if it's gonna work.
So to make sure it works before I go ahead and destroy my bazooka, we're gonna try it with this first.
And to my surprise, it worked really good. Like, honestly, just too good. And it was really, really loud.
Okay, so this thing, kinda crazy. It's time to hook it up to the big one.
Okay, so I am proud to say that this thing is officially done.
And it looks like something straight out of a video game. Like, this is by far the coolest thing I have ever made. Like, look at it. It's crazy.
Now, as if this thing didn't look cool enough already, this is what it looks like when it fires. Hit the lights.
Yeah, so it's time to go try this thing out. Yo, that was crazy. My heart is pounding right now.
Okay, so there was a couple things I wanted to test out here. One, how far can this thing shoot? Which turned out to be pretty far, and it probably would have been a lot farther if I had more yard. Two, how powerful is this thing? And if you want to know, ask the trash can. And three, how high can this thing go? And it kind of shot up into space. Almost into space. But this thing was crazy powerful and crazy loud. Don't believe me? This is the face I made every single time I fired off a dodgeball.
Look at this! Look at this trash can! A dodgeball did this to a trash can! This is the craziest thing I have ever made, hands down.
So yeah, if this thing couldn't help me win that dodgeball game, nothing could. But it was time for the final test, and it was time to save my comic book.
Get ready to lose. Yeah, right. That comic book is mine. We'll see about that.
All right, everybody settle down. I want a clean match. Ready? Set.
No!
You're out! No, he caught it. He's still in.
What?
comic book. I had a feeling you were gonna say that. But guess what? You're not gonna leak my comic book. 'Cause I am. That's right, guys. The Soxus comic book is real, and it is Soxus's action-packed origin story. It is all about how he got to Earth, how he got the Sox sword, how he met me and Purple Dude. Now, although there is still a ton of work to be done on this thing, I want to give you guys everything I have right now for free. So here's what you want to do. You want to scan this QR code or go to soxuscomic.com, and all the way at the bottom of the page, you type in your email address right here, press subscribe, and we'll send you the comic for absolutely free. Make sure you check your spam folders and promotional tabs in case you don't get it right away. I've worked on this for so long, I want you to read it. So please read it, enjoy it, let me know what you think about it, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got.